Hello and welcome to another episode of Tiksu to UniTartu. Today we're going to be talking about being a newcomer in Estonia. I have two wonderful guests and we're going to give our best tips and tricks on first arriving in Estonia and how to adapt when you first get here. I'm joined by Kate and Mason. Mason, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is Mason Bear. I'm from the United States in the wonderful state of Ohio. And I'm here studying abroad for a year, studying computer science.
Great.
Yeah.
And Kate, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, I am Kate. I am from Greece and I am here doing my doctoral studies in astronomy.
Okay. And how did you find out about the University of Tartu and Estonia in general?
I live in Europe, so I knew all the countries.
Okay.
But my first contact in Estonia was that I came here for a youth exchange when I was 25 or before.
Mm-hmm.
And I really loved the trees and the country and the nature and everything and the snow. And after that, I started searching for a master's here. For my field, it was only in Estonian, so I couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And randomly during my master's, I found something that was close to my topic. I contacted the people, came here for a conference, and I also passed the interview and all these things, and I end up here.
Awesome. And Mason, how about you?
Yeah, so I had no idea Estonia existed about a year and a half ago. But I was like, so since I wanted to do a study abroad, I was researching into researching into universities.
Mm-hmm.
And I really either wanted to go to like Sweden or Finland, but they didn't really have many good options for my home university. So I was looking into another option and Estonia appeared and I'm like, oh, wow, look at this cool place.
A little small country. It looks kind of neat.
Yeah, it looks kind of neat.
Yeah.
It has a good mix of like technology and nature and yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. So for this episode, we want to try to help people who are just coming to Estonia. Maybe they have their tickets and they want to know, some tips or tricks to ease their way into their Estonian adventure, I guess, so to say. On arrival, what would you guys say are like your best tips for when somebody comes to Estonia?
I would highly recommend looking into a bus company called Lux Express. They have some pretty good busing all around Estonia and they're fairly cheap. And you can get a nice student discount as well. And it's pretty easy to get from Tallinn Airport to Tartu via bus or train. Yeah.
And also, I think one I might recommend is like getting like a SIM card. You can get a prepaid SIM card right when you arrive, so you don't feel super lost in terms of using your 4G or whatever. But I think Wi-Fi is pretty available in Estonia, so it's not too bad. I know they say something about Wi-Fi in forest. I'm not sure how true that is, but
actually, it was kind of funny because I went to a bog, and when we were hiking through the bog, we had perfect 5G. And when we get to the parking lot, the data just sucks in the parking lot, but perfect in the bog.
There must be something in those bogs.
I think so.
And Kate, what are some tips or tricks you can recommend?
For me, I think it's finding the supermarkets because that is the first thing that I think. So Rimi, Coop, Selver, Maxima, or even Lidl, that is more all around.
Yeah.
That would be. And as European, I didn't need to have a SIM card immediately.
Yeah.
So
the European privilege, huh?
yes. But I think this, and then go through the web pages and the services. They have mostly everything for settling in.
Yeah, and the University of Tartu has some good information, and Visit
definitely.
Estonia is another good one. I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite supermarket chain? Not an ad. This just kind of tells me a lot about a person.
I live next to Rimi, so I cannot betray that. It's 2 seconds away.
Yeah. Okay, I'm a Coke boy.
You're too far.
Yeah. How about you, Mason?
Well, in the beginning, it was definitely Coop. But now I've started to realize how good Rimi can be. You can get pasta, at least now, for like 45 cents for a bag of pasta. And like, I got 2 kilograms of flour for like 95 cents. So it's like, it's amazing, yeah.
Okay, awesome.
But on the
Not an ad.
bakeries, in the supermarkets, I really like the Selver one. It has a thing that is with spinach and feta that is exactly the same as it is in Greece.
Okay.
And I was not expecting it here.
Wow. Okay. That's quite the endorsement. But I wanted to ask you guys, when you first came to Estonia, what were your first impressions, maybe your first week, your first month here? How did you feel first coming to Estonia?
I can reply that is mostly different from other people. For me, in the beginning, everyone says that Estonian people are shy, they are closed. But yeah, this lasts for like a day till they get to know you, or they get drunk with you, or they get to know you a bit more in general, and then they never stop talking. So this is a long advertisement if you ever heard it. No, for real, it's for me, it's the honesty and directness is something that I really appreciate, and also that it is actually this, that people will talk to you.
Yeah, I think it's like hard to break the ice, but once you do, it's.
I think you just need to do it. Not that it's hard. It depends
you just
if
need
they
to
like
do
you
it.
or not. Yes.
They'll let you know if they like you or not, I think.
Yeah.
And Mason, how about you?
Well, yeah, I kind of had a similar like impression about Estonia. Like I kind of knew that people were more introverted, but people here are very friendly. Like at least I've met a lot of friendly Estonians. But besides like the Estonian people, like the city of Tartu is just such a cozy place. Even though it's kind of big in size for like a town city, I think it's the perfect size. It's very cozy, and I loved it here. Yeah,
I think there's everything you need. There's events going on. I don't miss anything living in a small town, I guess, compared to being from Chicago. But yeah, I do. I love Tartu. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you guys maybe about some culture shocks you experienced when you came to Estonia. Do you have anything that really stands out to you in terms of like shocking?
Well, one of the biggest shocks that I had was during Christmas period when I learned you can buy a Christmas tree over a website, like the RMK National Park Service. You can purchase a Christmas tree and then just go to a public forest and just cut one down.
That's so cool.
Like, that's so cool. Yeah.
I think in the US somebody would get really mad if you cut down their Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And Kate, what about you? What are some maybe culture shocks you experienced?
I'm not so much of a culture shock, but my house is in the winter is heated by wood. So actually getting used to lighting the fire and having the fireplace and the room warm, that was hard to get used to. But now I really love it, and it's more, this cozy feeling is also coming into my room. And what I also feels like kind of amazing here is the connection that people have with nature. How they have this connection of folklore and myths and everything in the nature in order to teach kids that they need to protect the nature and that nature nurtures us. So
yeah, I think that was kind of something as well, as like people are more in tune with the nature kind of, I don't want to say pagan, but I think that's some of the roots of it. And there not as many people are religious here. You see a lot of churches probably from, the history and the occupation, but a lot of the population isn't as religious. And there are still people who are religious in churches, but compared to the US, it's a lot lower, density of that.
And like two things I would like to add is related to the occupation. Like it's not very obvious that they were occupied by the Soviet Union back then, and like they did a really good job, like modernizing everything and making everything look nice, and that was really cool.
Man, I might disagree with you on this one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that if you look hard enough, you see the signs around a lot. Like even in where we are now recording, you can look around and there's still old signs in Russian.
Okay, sure.
Even in this Tartu city center, you still see a hammer and sickle on one of the buildings.
Really?
And it's quite interesting seeing some of the old places. And I think the more you look at it, is it is well hidden, but if you look close enough, you definitely see the history and you kind of see that prevailing through.
Yeah. And I also like to mention the singing and like the folk music and the folk dancing and stuff. Like that was very cool. Like I love Estonians just feel so passionate about their country, and like the song and dance festival that'll be coming up and all like the music and stuff. It's really awesome to see. And yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, also on that they are very connected with music and other folklore, but in a way that it also defines them, like the singing revolution.
Yeah.
And these things that evolved through time, and they kept these roots.
Yeah, it's nice because it's kind of a smaller group of people that have really held on to tradition, and I think I really appreciate. The longer I live here, the more ingrained I feel, and I hear the national anthem come on, and I feel a little pump in my heart there.
But like in a good way, not that they will stop you from being integrated, but they want you to learn. They are proud of it in a good way. Of here is what we have, learn it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Sorry to switch gears a little bit here, but I had a thought in my head. You talked about lighting your stove in your
cool.
apartment. That's a big culture shock for me too. But I wanted to ask you guys about how have you adapted to the weather here? I mean, it's probably very different from Greece. Probably not that different from Ohio.
Okay, so I have something to add about the weather. I actually came to Estonia expecting it to be pretty crazy winter-wise. So in Ohio, in the U.S., for people who aren't, it can get pretty cold. About like my family was saying about like it was about negative 20 degrees Celsius this winter, and so it got pretty cold. So I was expecting Estonia to be similar, if not like colder, more snowy. It was more snowy, I feel, than Ohio, but it wasn't as cold as what I was expecting it to be. So I was a little disappointed a little bit with the winter.
Wow.
Because winter is like my favorite season. So I was like, oh, that's why I'm here for a nice winter. But it wasn't as strong as I thought it was going to be.
Stay for another year.
I think so.
So my first 2 years, it was snowy from October till April, May. So and for me, I love the snow. And for me, adapting to the cold was not so harsh because the cold here is dry. So if you put on clothes, you are okay. In Greece, in Heraklion, at least my hometown, it is 10 degrees and you are freezing. I went from here at minus 17 to 10 and I was wearing the same clothes and there was more cold there.
Yeah, I showed up. I was wearing I think I was wearing like a hoodie, similar to this, and I was just not prepared. In terms of being prepared, what are some tips or tricks you guys can give for being prepared for the winter here?
First, check the weather.
Check the weather before you arrive, yeah.
Yeah, one time I came from plus 20 to minus 30, so yeah. But have gloves. This is very important, and have a hat because your ears can get frostbite. And what else I would say is that for me it was not the cold that was the problem. It was that in winter it gets slippery. Because it melts and then it becomes ice. So this part, be prepared for that. You will fall.
That was the one thing I was going to mention. Invest in a good pair of boots, either on arrival or before you get here, because you're going to be trudging through some snow at some point.
Yeah. Like related to the ice, I think the ice is probably the thing that I struggled with the most when I was here. I fell like 2 or 3 times. So definitely have some sort of like high gripping boots. Or I was even thinking about getting like spikes on my shoes.
I've seen that before.
I think that'd be so cool, like walking around with spikes on my shoes. But I don't know. Yeah,
because I know they do that with the tires. You have to change your tires in the winter if you're driving. I don't know how many international students are going to be driving, but they have the winter tires. And in Chicago, it's just learn how to drive in the ice.
Yeah, like I've never seen these winter tires before. When I saw them, like there's spikes in the tires. Wow. Yeah.
So this is actually one question that a lot of the listeners have actually asked us, and some new students. Is there any customs and etiquette people should know, like about being in Estonia or speaking to Estonians? Do you guys have any ones that come right off the top of your head? I think one for me might be that people don't consider you a friend upon like the first meeting. It takes like 5, 6, 7 times before you're no longer an acquaintance and you're a close friend.
What I noticed is that I had some friends from UK that came here and they went to the hostel and said something like, "Hello, how are you?" and all this politeness, and the woman was looking at them like crazy. And I wouldn't also do that, but I understand that this too much politeness and too much asking is people find it weird. I also find it weird from before coming here, but this is, I think, a tip. Maybe just say tere.
Yeah, I think that is a big thing. They're very direct, straight to the point. You don't have to worry about the customs and courtesies. One thing I do a lot is if I'm squeezing past somebody, I'll say sorry. I'll hit them with a vabandust, and people just they don't care. They don't care. You don't have to do that. Another one might be like people looking at their feet. A lot of times people walk around, they look at their toes. So I think there's a joke like if you have new shoes in Estonia, will notice or something like that. So the point of what I'm saying is don't feel that people don't like you for some reason or they're being discriminatory or something just because they're not overly polite. I think that's just kind of the general gist.
Yeah. Like I was going to say something very similar to that because when I was here in Estonia, like in the US, it's very custom to be like, hey, how are you? When you're like meeting someone through the streets or whatever and just reply with good and walk on. When I like started talking to people, as, hey, how are you? They would stop and we'd have like a conversation.
Yeah, because they're not used to it.
They're not used to it. Yeah. So that was also something very interesting. And yeah, when I would say like good morning or like hey and be all this politeness and stuff to Estonians, they just kind of reply back in like a very neutral way. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I do like that. You ask them how they're doing. Pretty much if you ask in the States, everybody will say good. Here, you know, if they say normal, then it's like, okay, yeah, they're doing really good.
Yeah, but don't do that in supermarkets and stores. I know people do it in other countries. And no, people will think you are just weird.
But speaking of like interacting with locals, I know a lot of people speak English here. It's pretty common to speak English. Almost everybody does. Maybe not the older generation, but how do you guys deal with that kind of language barrier being a non-Estonian speaker? Well, I don't know your Estonian levels, sorry, to assume, but you know, how do you deal with it being primarily, you know?
Well, so the most trouble I run into is when I'm in grocery stores. Most other places I'm fine. Usually the people I know speak English, but in grocery stores it can be a little difficult. So usually it's either a lot of like hand gestures or like pointing at things like a credit card type thing. I never have really used Google Translate. I know lots of people do, but I never really found uses for it.
I feel like it's not that great for Estonian either.
Yeah, that's what I've also noticed.
Yeah.
It's not so great.
I think my recommendation would be like learn a few words, just
definitely.
like spicy. I know like if you're not big on spicy food, I've learned to vurtsikas.
Also, like if someone comes here for a semester, the online course to cover the basics, where is something and where is something else. Thank you. And these things is very easy to do, so to follow it.
So with your guys' time in Estonia, do you think you've ever experienced any discrimination and how have you dealt with it? I mean, maybe it just might, you know, I'm not speaking the language, but have you ever been in a situation like that?
Actually, not really. Like, I've gone to some Estonian events that are primarily only for Estonians, but they still have some sort of English speaking in this program. Like, there might be someone who's just quickly translating it. So I've actually felt more welcomed here than I do in the US.
Yeah, people. I haven't experienced that much either. Nothing comes off the top of my head, but I know this is something that we get asked a lot. And actually, it does feel kind of like everybody, especially in Tartu, is like they expect international folks to be here, and it's kind of more of a homogenous community.
Yeah, it's also the same for me. I feel more welcomed, and people will maybe get out of their way even to translate for you so that you're part of the event.
Oh, that's really nice. That's awesome. Great. So, an easy topic maybe. What are you guys' favorite thing about Estonia? Just in general, what do you guys love about living here?
For me, it's the forests. I came here and I fell in love with how many forests are there, even in winter. And and the snow. I come from my hometown. It never snows. It snowed once in 2016, but it never stayed. So for me, it was the actual first winter here, real winter.
That's so cool.
I love the snow and the nature that most of the paths are accessible even in winter. And I love the trees and
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I have to go on the nature side as well with the Estonian bogs. Oh, man, I was on like a bog hike a week ago. Oh, just walking through the bog and like it's such beauty in like the different colors they have and the different plant species there, and it's amazing. Yeah, like I've never seen anything like it. It's truly beautiful. Yeah.
I can also add that you can see the northern lights from here, and for me that was also amazing and mesmerizing.
Aurora Borealis.
Yes. And actually I saw it from my window, so
that's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess it kind of also would lead me, like, what have you guys done a lot of traveling around Estonia? What would be your favorite spot, you think?
I love the town of Viljandi. I find this to be like my peaceful place. Like whenever I go to, I'm like, just walking through the streets. There's this really beautiful castle ruins area in Viljandi.
A lot of history.
Yeah. Oh, like I love this place so much. I've been there like 2 or 3 times now, but every time I go, it's like, this is such a nice, cozy place to go.
Yeah, that's something I recommend to a lot of students because it really, I don't want to say upset me. I'm more disappointed that I hear a lot of students just stay in the dorms and just do their studies. And places like Viljandi, what is it, like a 45-minute, an hour bus ride.
Yep,
And,
there's a direct bus that goes there.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, get out there, go to Viljandi.
I was going to say Viljandi, but since you stole it.
You got it.
Viljandi is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you gotta pick another
it's
one.
also very easy for people who drive to rent a car here. So I think if I would put Hania, the region of Hania, and Munamagi. There are some places there that are very far from cities. And one that I went, it was very close to the border of Latvia, and it was so peaceful and quiet. You couldn't hear anything else but the nature, the birds, and the river flowing. And they have also put some kind of megaphones in that region in order to enhance the nature sounds.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
interesting.
cool.
I wanted to mention something about the rental of cars because it's so easy to rent a car. And like, I love the thing that people just say, hey, yeah, you can rent my own car and you can. I think that's such a cool idea, like Airbnb but for cars.
Yeah.
Like that's so cool.
Yeah, and the roads here are like a lot easier to drive, I think, in some regard.
Yeah.
But what app do you use for that? I haven't heard of that actually.
I'm not sure, but like last semester, me and my friends, we rented like just random people's cars like 4 or 5 times.
That's cool because I know you can use the Bolt Drive. I know that there's also the City Bee. Is another one for driving a car. Do you know?
I think we used the City Bee and the one from Booking.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, neat.
But in general, it's easy to find all. The rates are more or less the same, depending if you take it for a day or.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just cheaper to get the car than to take a taxi somewhere. Almost. You can drive. But do you guys maybe have any more tips that you would tell somebody? Maybe you wish you knew before you came to Estonia that you would like to share.
Definitely go out and like, just explore the country. Like even just the fact of getting on a bus and just going somewhere random. I think there's so much beauty in this country and there's so many little hidden spots.
Oh yeah.
I think just exploring as much as you can is definitely what I've been doing and what I would recommend. And you know.
Yeah, I really like going out and exploring too. I like seeing like, ruins of buildings or like, towns that are a lot smaller than they used to be. And it's just super interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of history.
Yeah, lots of history.
Also but for people staying in Tartu, for example, I would say that explore also the city, the cafes, the places. They are very cute and they have a really nice food, most of them.
Yeah.
So go find these hidden cafes.
Definitely. And I have one last question for you guys. What do you think when you leave Estonia, or maybe you go back home, just for a visit, what are you taking away from your Estonian experience? It could be, maybe a personal experience, it could be a product. You love Vana Tallinn, the rum that, everybody loves. I don't know. What would it be?
Usually I take chocolates.
I take the chocolates to my family too, the Kalev.
The Kalev chocolates. Yeah, I think it's the chocolates, but also this mentality of loving the nature and
yes,
yeah, definitely. Are you in the same boat with the chocolates, Mason?
Actually, I'm in a little bit of a different boat.
Okay.
See, my family requested when I came to Estonia, they're like, Mason, please bring home authentic Estonian stones. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to Saaremaa. Oh. Also, I recommend going to Saaremaa. Saaremaa is amazing. Saaremaa is the biggest island in Estonia. Yeah. And it's a really nice place.
Also, Hiiumaa is very, very nice.
Oh, yeah, I've heard some good things about that
place.
place.
The other big island. I think you probably pass. No, do you pass through it?
No, not to go to Saaremaa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but when I was in Saaremaa, I grabbed like a bunch of stones. So I'm returning home with a bunch of stones for my family.
Wow, Mason, you got a bag full of rocks coming through the airport. They're going to think you're a crazy person.
I am.
Yeah, no, I bring back the chocolates too. I get hassled to bring back the chocolates and also the Vana Tallinn, the rum for my mom's.
Yeah,
the Vana
that is very nice.
Yeah. All right, but I think, guys, that is all the time we have. We've done a good job covering tips and tricks for newcomers. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I really appreciated your perspectives, and it was a really nice talk. So
thank you for inviting me.
Yes,
thank you so much. So that's all the time we have, and this has been Tiksu to UniTartu. Thank you.